Hey everyone, this is the third and final installment to the Not Just a Detailer mini-series where we talk about misconceptions, flaws, or myths when it comes to starting your detailing business. In this lesson, we're going to talk about why you shouldn't let your passion get in the way of success. It sounds a bit contradictory when I say don't let your passion get in the way of success when the main reason or one of the reasons you're starting your business is because to some extent, I'm hoping and assuming you enjoy detailing. A lot of us come out of this passion from working on our personal vehicles. We work on a couple other vehicles. We go from a hobby to a passion to then we want to start a business. So we are, we're emotionally attached to the detailing aspect of things because that's just what we enjoy, what we like to do, and we're really happy when we work on other people's vehicles to get that instant gratification of restoring paints or leather or fabric cloth seats. And we get real attached to that part of the business, which is the detailing side of things. Now that is a double-edged sword though, because you'll see it all across YouTube comments, Facebook groups, detailing forums where they're so attached, they're so just passionate about detailing that they'll go far more than what they should with their customers and the services that they're providing. So a lot of times if a customer just wants a basic wash or a wash and wax, because the detailer sees there's imperfections in the paint, there's swirls and scratches, instead of just doing like a 3-hour job, 4-hour job, it'll turn to like a 7, 8, 9-hour job, because instead of just applying a wax, they get out their polisher, they get out the pads and compound the polishes, and they start correcting the paint or polishing the paint to make it look 10 times better than its current condition. And although that's fine to do in the beginning phases, because one, you want the experience, two, you really want to impress the customer and hope they refer you to other people, three, you want the reviews, that is going to be something that you need to stop relatively soon, because if you keep with that habit, that mindset of you're going to keep on going after every stain, after every scratch, after every imperfection that you see, you're not going to be making the type of money that you thought you were going to make. And I hear it so many times where, well, that's the OCD in me coming out of it. I can't just leave a card. I know I can go spend an extra hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, making the paint look perfect, making sure I work on that stain a little bit more. And yes, most of us, if given the budget, if given the available time that we can, we would want to spend more time on the stain, on the paints, on the engine, on the headlights. But when you when you start your detailing business, you are now working in a constraint of a budget and time frame that the customer is giving you. If you want to just spend your entire time polishing paint to a 97% perfection, or removing 90% of the swirls and scratches, and that's going to take you 20 hours, by all means you can do it for 20 hours. The only thing is you have to make sure you're charging 20 hours worth of work for that detail. So they're coming in just for a wash and wax, maybe just for a quick all-in-one polish. Maybe they just want a quick wipe down of the interior, but you spend an extra 3, 4, 5 hours because you are so passionate about the work, because you just love cleaning and want to use this new tool. And you're trying to hit around like an average hourly rate of like $50 an hour, but because you go over 2, 3, 4 hours over the budget, you're now making like 10 to 15 hours, $10 to $15 an hour on your job, on that detail job. And at that rate, although yes, you're getting you're doing the work that you love, how much longer are you going to love the work when at the end of the day you're checking your bank account or you review how much you've made and you're saying, man, with as much work as I'm doing, I'm barely making any money. Since I've been talking to so many detailers, another big part on why they go after every stain or imperfection is for the fear of the customer not being happy with the results once you're done if you don't do 110% of the work. So I remember, yeah, and that's the same thing that I went through when I started off, right? When you're starting the interior, and maybe they didn't pay for the full on out interior or exterior or what have you, but because like you still left a few stains, because you didn't touch everything up, you have a fear of, okay, they're not gonna like this, like they did pay me money, right? Someone gave me their hard-earned money, and I want to make sure that I'm giving them the best results possible. So with that mindset, you're gonna say, you know what, well, they didn't pay for everything, but I still feel bad because they did pay me, and I know I can get it a lot better. So let me just go ahead and touch up a few areas. Let me just touch up this stain real quick. Let me go touch up that stain. Let me just get out this brush. Let me get out this tool. and you're just going to keep on working and working. And in the beginning phases, that's going to be something you run into quite often because you're just getting into the groove of things, right? You've gotten your first few customers, you're still trying to get experience, reviews, knowledge, so you're okay with doing that. But as you move along, you want to be very cautious and be very attentive to how you're working on the job site. If you want to go after more imperfections, after more scratches, after more stains, you have to make sure the customer is paying for that service. And there's going to be a lot of people that say, oh, well, you're going to be half-assing your job. You should just, every car should be the absolute perfection. Detailing is an art. And look, if you're just a hobbyist, if you're doing this part-time, absolutely go all out. But when you're doing this as a business, it's a completely different ballgame. So when you're watching those videos of someone polishing paint for 25 hours, when you see someone that's charging like the most expensive detailer on planet Earth, like that's not really what business is like in the real world. That's like a 0.1 percentage of detailers that run a detailing business, and that doesn't mean they're profitable. That doesn't mean that they have the most luxury life ever, right? Like they're there polishing paint from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday because it's a $3,000 ticket item and they need to get it done in the next 4 days. So don't think everything is glamorous that you see online. It's a completely different story when you're like out there working in the dead hot sun and cold temperatures, when you're out mobile, when you're in a shop and you have it's a completely different ball game. So those that are saying every car should be the absolute best, you need to spend as much time to get the best results, that is absolutely true within the constraints of what the customer is giving you. And be realistic, how much more are you going to love doing what you do when you're not making any money, when you're not making the type of money that you want to make, when you can't afford what you thought you could afford after this job? You're working so long, you're breaking your back, your body is aching, you're tired, you're working from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. You don't have that much off time, you're not really spending time with your family, you don't have time to just go watch a game because you're so tired, or you have to prep for the next day. When that's all happening, you're not going to be so concerned about I need to go after every stain, because you're more concerned about I need to make sure I'm making money to pay the bills, to provide a better life for myself and my family. The next part is don't be so emotionally attached to the results that you're getting to your customers. I've actually talked with detailers that get almost sad that their customer isn't jumping up and down after the results that they provided. They're hiring you for a specific task, whether they're super excited to pay you, whether they just give it to you and don't really react to the result that you got them. It shouldn't matter, right? Do not get so emotionally attached to every single last thing that you do in your business. Plenty of times I have customers, I've once had a customer almost cry after I cleaned their interior. But most of them are really excited for the results that I've gotten them. Others, they just pay me nonchalant, like could care less that I was there for 6 hours in the heat, busting my tail off after the vehicle hasn't been cleaned over the last 3 years. That's fine. I'm not there to like hope that they cry and perish me and praise me for all the work that I've done. I'm there for the job. They hired me, they paid me, good relationship, and on to the next one. I've seen people get sad or like not depressed, but just have an upset emotion towards the customer not being completely happy and jumping in awe that they worked their tail off for 12 hours polishing paint, right? They're hiring you for a specific task. That's what it is. Get it done, move on to the next one. This is, again, you should have a passion for what you do. That's very important, but you can't let that passion put a screen in terms of what it is to run a business. And that ends the third installment of the Not Just a Detailer mini series. In the comment section down below, leave your feedback, whether you agree or disagree. Do you find yourself more on the passionate side of things and you keep on going after those imperfections and you kind of just forget about the business side of things? Leave those in the comment section down below. I'll look forward to seeing what you have to say.